Welcome back to the KSLA Cafe. Former law enforcement officer Lakrisha Gee shares her story of overcoming shame and self-doubt in her book, Things of That Nature, From Shame to Confidence. And she'll be signing copies at Barnes & Noble later this month, and she joins me right now to talk about her journey right here on the KSLA Cafe and the inspiration behind the book as well. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Sorry we got a little wonky with basketball today, but we're happy to have you. So what led you to write your book? What inspired you?
I wanted young girls, teen girls and young women to know that they're not alone in a lot of things that they face, and that they can overcome anything from shame, fear, insecurities, that they can overcome, and that they do matter.
And I want them to know a little bit about your background as well.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you worked in law enforcement, so tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, ma'am. I worked in law enforcement for 6 years. During my role in law enforcement, I worked in corrections, school resource officer, and court security. Along with that, I also subbed at the schools as a substitute teacher.
So you worked with kids on a regular basis?
Oh, yes, ma'am. From pre-K to young adults of 24.
Okay, and so what kind of experiences will you be talking about in the book?
I talk about shame, fear, self-doubt. I talk about fitting in, the need of fitting in, friendships, and what I went through and how I overcame and how it affected me.
Why do you think it's so important for, you mentioned like young girls, young teens, why do you think it's so important for them to hear this kind of message at this stage in their life?
I believe they need to hear it because they don't share much, and they need to know that they do matter. They need to know that when things come up, that they can overcome and just be their true, authentic self.
When you say they don't share much, do you mean with their peers or with their families?
Just the things that they deal with. Of course, they're going to share it with their friends, but when it comes to parents and just family, they don't share because they're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of so many things. So once we share our stories and open up of what we dealt with and overcame, I feel like they'll open up more as well.
You think it'll make them feel safer to,
yes,
share?
They have to have that safe space. If they don't feel safe, they're not going to share.
So how can people find out more about your book signing as well as the workshop? When and where is all that happening?
My book signing will be held at Barnes & Noble, located in Shreveport, Louisiana, on March 28th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And my workshop will be held in May on the 31st. And they can visit me at www.authorlakrishagee.com.
Any final messages for our viewers if they have kids at home that they think, hey, this might be good for them?
Just come out and see me, and let's talk, and let's have a great time.
Yeah, let's start those connections.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Gee, for joining us for our segment and letting the viewers know that there's a safe space for them.
Thank you.
Of course.